Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a week. We got our weekly special here, talking about the NBA. Currently watching the Heat absolutely control the Bucks right now, 44-28, um,
Ooh.
and a missed three-pointer by the Bucks. So weird game. Some weird games have happened lately. Like the Nuggets didn't show up against these very same Bucks a couple days
Yeah.
ago. We'll talk about one of the worst calls I've seen recently
Mhm.
later on. But um, yeah, what says you, Diego? I'm sure you're like a prophet. You called like the Mavs trades. They look really nice uh,
Yeah,
lately. Like, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Trade deadline. Had a great day at work. I usually have my notifications off, but on Thursday I had them on. I came home from work early, worked from home a little bit to watch the end of the trade deadline. Mavs really made me happy. And then we're gonna talk about later how we beat the Thunder. And we're I think is it 5 games? Yeah, it's a 5 game winning streak right now. Got one more before the All-Star break. It's a great day to be a Mavs fan. Great time.
Yeah, 100% don't blame you. Bulls look really good somehow. Like from I remember that video we recorded. I was like, what is
Yeah,
going on with this team? And then somehow like
they
they
won.
win. It,
Yeah.
it, it baffles me. Io looks really good now too. Kobe White
Oh,
having the shining season. Io looks tremendous and putting in the work after like 29 points. Like I love to see that on Instagram. Um, I am suddenly excited about the Bulls again, even with all the injuries that have happened. And this is the roller coaster of being a Chicago sports guy. Um, but I wanted to talk about one game I saw Friday night. I don't think you got a chance to see this one. Um,
no.
Warriors and Suns lived up to the billing. Absolute clinic, both sides of the ball. I think the
Yeah.
only thing that I was a little disappointed with was Kevin Durant not shooting well from three. But other than that, up and down the court, feist, feisty, competitive. Like Nurkic and Draymond were going at it possession after possession. Like at one play, Nurkic was like slapping the floor, calling Draymond too small. Um,
Yeah.
Draymond does the same thing on the way down. You know how once it gets to war pettiness to Draymond, like it's gonna be
Yeah.
like one of those kind of like spat out games. Like and
Mm.
just to have it end on a Curry three-pointer was, like, so satisfying, and although the Warriors are now in the ninth spot, I think, or, like, around that play-in
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
please, guys, please, we've seen this enough from this team. Don't think they're, like, a ninth seed team in the Western Conference. Like, we've been typing up the Clippers, the Timberwolves, the Thunder. Like, the Warriors could take any of these teams down because of the cold-blooded assassin they have in Steph Curry. They just did it with the Kings last season, and, like, I would not count this team out. With that said, the Suns look like they've identified their weaknesses on defense, been a
Yeah.
lot better, a lot aggressive. I think the Royce O'Neal deal is gonna prove huge for them.
Mhm.
Um, but with that said, they need to figure out how to just get everybody rolling because like Devin Booker looked great, phenomenal, but like some of these shots, like I'd see Beal take, and then I look at the very next possession with the Warriors. It looks easy for them. Like when you see like rookies, like who's that? Who's that guard? That rookie guard?
Podziemski.
Who?
Podziemski, the
Bogdanovic. Yeah,
early
I
haired guy.
love the way that dude plays. He's gonna be a star on these Warriors teams, like sooner if not later. Like I'd see him play Kuminga, and then Quinones was a three-point
Oh
shooter
yeah.
that stood out. He looked really good for stretches. Like I just see the way they free flow, and like for the Suns, it looks like they're working so much more harder to get like the shots they like, even though they have those players skilled enough to make them. And
Yeah.
they just need to figure out how to get easier shots from themselves. Like you can't tell me that Kevin Durant, as good as he is as like shooting and not getting uncontested, like on those shots, you can't tell me that a Kevin Durant pull up three that's contested is more efficient than like getting wide open cutters into baskets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like the Suns got to figure that out, but nonetheless, they played a very good game. Um, it was nip and tuck. They put themselves in every opportunity to win, and it was one great pass by Pocheski to get past the outstretched arms of Beal. It was an underrated pass. I saw people dogging Pacheski for a terrible pass that Steph Curry made into a great shot. I thought it was a phenomenal pass because if he doesn't throw that to the outside shoulder of like Curry for him to turn around and
Hmm.
adjust to shoot the three with a reaching Bradley Beal, like Beal's taking that the other way, game over. And instead, it turns into a comfortable Steph Curry shot for three. And I'm saying comfortable, meaning like 35 feet out. Like
Yeah,
basically nobody could do that. And they win the game. So I think it just goes to show like when the Warriors are on their game, they could beat anybody. And it was just like a great game between two offenses.
yeah. I mean, for the Warriors in general, Steph is like their lifeline, and the way he's still playing now, and recently he had a game where he started in the first quarter 6 for 6 from three. If he can really do that, I mean, it's still you could have anyone else next to him, and they still might have a chance to win. So, I think maybe he's just getting into form now, getting ready to really carry throughout the end of the season. Well, who knows? Definitely interesting. And I was Royce O'Neal playing in this game
Um,
because I know,
I don't recall. It's been like 5 days. I don't recall
yeah,
seeing him as much, but he might have. Might have.
yeah, I know the Suns traded for him, so they've been kind of making moves, and that was a big part of their game that was not like short up, not very good defensively as we had said before. So this could be a big thing for them, and if he did play that, that could be a reason. I'm kind of mad I didn't watch this game. I had like marked it down, and I knew it could be a good game, so I gotta watch the highlights.
Yeah, no, definitely do. You mentioned Royce O'Neal. I guess we can talk about some of the trade deadline moves now.
Oh yeah,
Suns got him in the three-team deal. I'm going to try and scroll up here real quick to make sure I got this right. So Suns get Royce O'Neal and David Roddy. Brooklyn Nets
yeah,
get Jordan Goodwin and Keita Bates Diop,
mm,
and three second-round picks, two from Memphis. And the Memphis Grizzlies get Yuta Watanabe and then Shimizi Metu, and I'm pretty sure I butchered that so badly. So,
interesting.
what did you think of this three-team deal? How big of a factor does O'Neal play, and for the Suns' defense and for their team overall?
I mean, O'Neal is a huge player. I mean, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's a commodity, but he's like your base 3 and D player. That's like role player that you really need on a team, especially where you don't have a lot of defense. You already have 3 guys really hogging a lot of the ball. Uh, he's a guy that doesn't need the ball a lot. Just takes catch and shoot threes. Might attack a closeout every now and then, but he can guard the other team's best 2 to 4, maybe. Four is more maybe than 2 or 3, but yeah, he's a great defender, and I think it's good for them. Also getting David Roddy. David Roddy's a really good player. Second year player, I think, out of Colorado. Huge bit like his nickname is Big Body Roddy. He's a very tough player, and I think it's something the Suns also need. Because yeah, like Devin Booker, Brad Beal, and Kevin Durant are good players, but I don't know how tough they are. Like they're not. They don't like David Roddy. I think like David Roddy can like run through a brick wall. Is the vibe I get from him. So this is gonna be a big trade for the Suns. Two kind of more defensively oriented pieces. So yeah, I think Memphis gets some good added depth. More experienced shooter in Watanabe. I think you said he goes to Memphis or the Nets.
Yes, yeah, the Memphis
Hmm.
Grizzlies.
Okay, and then Chimezi Metu. I mean, Metu's okay. Metu's kind of like a body, or was it? No, I think Bates D up, and then another guy you said go to Brooklyn, right?
Yep, yep. You Jordan Goodwin. I didn't
Okay,
really know about Goodwin too much.
Goodwin. I mean, I think Goodwin's decent. I just know him because he was like tight with Bradley Beal. Um,
Mhm.
I think he was on Bradley Beal's AAU team when he was at that age. So I think I don't know. I don't know.
It's kind of just a way for the Suns
Yeah.
to get Bradley Beal, right? That you see these moves sometimes, like you saw
Yeah.
with the Knicks when they're getting Jalen Brunson's dad to try and
Hmm.
get Jalen Brunson, so.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with like clutch sports, like clutch, or like how teams that already have players with one agent are more likely to get a free agent player or a player that's in a trade of that same agent. Kind of like Dejounte to the Lakers, which was got a lot of buzz. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's definitely interesting, mostly for the Suns. Obviously, they have the most to lose and the most to win here. And the other teams kind of just refresh their lineups a little bit, see what they could do with these other guys. I like it for the Suns. It's a good move for them. They definitely need Royce O'Neal is huge for them, so I'm interested to see what they can do.
Who's that guard they have? It's not Torrey Craig because he's on the Bulls.
Yeah,
Um, he used to play. Shoot, they have this defensive guard they've had. I
Okogie.
can't think. Okogie, yeah, Josh Okogie. Um, he's nice, but I think this move helped out really solidify like Vogel's system, like in
Hmm.
his input, because he likes a lot of like wing defenders for the way he runs
Yeah.
his defensive calls. So I think it helps. And like Kevin Durant can be a good shot blocker, but like you need him for that efficient offense, which like when you
Hmm.
don't have anybody to go to, when Beal and like Booker can't shot create, you could just have a sniper and Kevin Durant get
Yeah.
that mid range pull up, elbow pull up anytime, anywhere. That's where you really want to use the most out of Durant.
No. Yeah.
So I think a move like this really helps because it puts less pressure on
Hmm.
like the offensive guys to focus on the defensive end on primary playmakers.
Yeah.
So and it allows you to kind of stagger like the offensive guys with these wings now because you got Okogie, you got O'Neal, and all the way back from the Jazz, O'Neal's been a sneaky player. Like
Hmm.
he's not going to dominate the ball. Like you don't always want guys that can dominate the ball like
No, definitely.
consistently. The reason why like the Celtics work so well and why like we keep raving on how they built their teams is because if you look at Derek White, if you look at Porzingis, or even like Horford, when like in years past, like Horford and White especially, they be ball movers and willing defenders and whatnot. And you need guys like that that can make an impact off the court. Like I think watching the Warriors game against the Suns, like you really saw that with Gary Payton the second.
Hmm.
Like I really like Gary Payton the second because like he doesn't you don't put him on to like score, being scoring fed about like Steph Curry to worry about. He can do that. He can shoot the three well. He can get like alley oops. He can get like cuts. But like his effort level throughout the floor, like him diving for loose balls, like
Hmm.
scrambling, like giving extra possessions, like that's the kind of scrappy player that O'Neal is, and I think it will help the Suns like get a more well-rounded attitude you were mentioning as well.
Yeah, definitely. Slight or one little tidbit is that Royce O'Neal is the guy that caused the. I don't know if you seen the meme where Brian Windhorst is like he's doing like this like something's going on in Utah when they're about to trade like Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Royce O'Neal was the first guy to get traded. I'm pretty sure to the Nets. That he's just like something's happening here. So yeah, just little tidbit.
I didn't know that, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a good get for the Suns. It's kind of them being self-aware of like where their
Yeah.
rosters at and like how they can diversify their wings, so it's not like oh, we got all these three scoring threats and that's it. So
Yeah.
definitely a good move by them. Um, all right. Another good move was Diego presenting all those trade deadline scenarios literally the week before. And then the day after, we find out that, much to my chagrin, about not believing that Daniel Gafford was actually a good target for the Mavs. They not only get Daniel Gafford, they get PJ Washington as well. What did you
Hmm.
think of these moves? I'm sure you're so happy to see the front court reloaded
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. Like I was saying, get some good size. The biggest thing, Daniel Gafford especially, is such a good rebounder. I get this. I follow this one guy on Twitter that's like he's like an analyst for the Mavs specifically, and he does like observations and breakdowns of every game and whatnot. And so a big thing he says that yeah, Gafford is really good at getting rebounds, and I mean I think he got like 14 and like 17 in last night's game, his revenge game against the Wizards and against the Thunder in that big blowout. So I think Daniel Gafford, especially right now, Lively's not 100%, still working on getting back from a nose fracture, nasal fracture, I think is what it says, and then PJ Washington, really nice 6'7" guy. I mean, probably our like fourth player that's 6'6" and up, including Luca, which is kind of wild. So that's pretty. I think that's huge, and especially because I think watching him play, uh, he's just been able to attack closeouts in a way that I don't think a lot of other players can. So this is very good. And then losing Rashawn Holmes, like I said, not a big deal. Center for a center kind of deal there. And then there's a lot of stuff that actually came out with Grant Williams that I didn't know about because he was in the PJ Washington trade with Seth Curry. Um, that he supposedly started wearing Jason Tatum shoes instead of Luka shoes, both from Jordan Brand, while on the Mavs. Kind of crazy, and kind of reports coming out that he was just rubbing some of the team members, some of the other
I
guys
did
on the
see
team the
that.
wrong way.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. And he even like came out with a little quote after his first game on the Hornets, just like, "Yeah, it was nice to play with these guys, playing for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back." Like, kind of just throwing a few shots at Luka. It seemed like, even though when he was on the team, he was just like, "Oh yeah, my job is so easy. I get wide open shots." So don't really know what's going on with him. Um, I don't know, not a problem anymore, which is nice. And then, other little tidbit: we could have gotten Spencer Dinwiddie after he got bought out by the Raptors, but the Lakers ended up getting him. So
Yeah, I saw I was going between like the Mavs and the Lakers, and
yeah,
that was Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a good scorer. I mean,
hmm,
that's something we could have easily talked about today, but like now that we're talking mentioning it, that would have been a great get for the Mavs because
yeah,
it gives you like this tertiary score you don't really have to worry about. He's an underrated player. Watch, I know because watching him on the Bulls, like that's one guy I wish they held on to.
hmm,
Um, he's a great scorer. Like if you need him, if you need somebody to get like 10 on your team, like he's somebody that can get his own shot. So great get for the Lakers. That's he's definitely going to help out LeBron and AD in that regard. Um,
yeah,
what do you think about losing Seth Curry? I think he moved on
hmm.
as a result
He
of the deals, right?
he was part of the PJ Washington trade. I think, yeah, it was tough to lose a good 3-point shooter, but the fact is he's just kind of all offense, right? And his defense is really almost non-existent, and especially with age, he's definitely off the timeline that we're kind of on here. So I think it was a good move for us. It's kind of sad though because it's like the third time we trade Seth Curry, which is kind of wild. But like, yeah, that's something. I think it was good in the end because the return that we get now with PJ Washington is really scary in my opinion. Watching him play yesterday with Maxi Kleba at the 4 and the 5, both of them was really nice. And it's a small ball, but a small ball that's actually like sustainable, not like what we've had to play without D Live or in times when we haven't had Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleba. So very interesting. I'm very excited for this team.
He's always been like I've noticed he's always like a really good scorer from college.
Hmm.
So I was waiting to see how that translate, and obviously like the Hornet situation is not the greatest to see
Yeah.
like how like talent develops in like competitive environments. So like I'm
Hmm.
sure he's chomping at the bit to play on like a conference that's competitive on the team that's already competitive
Definitely.
right into it. So I think he was a sneaky addition for sure. Um, so great job, great call on those.
Yeah.
I'll be looking to you for like future deadline rumors, I guess, because you're right on the money
I'm
there.
just everywhere. Just got my ears just like locked in like this. I'm listening to everything.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about the Knicks, but I wanted to put two topics together with them. So um, I think this is probably one of the more important moves of the deadline.
Hmm.
Buddy Hield going to the 76ers. Now,
Yeah.
all of this is all for naught if Joel Embiid can't stay healthy
No, for
the
sure.
rest of the season. But adding this guy is I
Huge.
think, yeah, like it makes them a serious contender with the Celtics, with the Bucks, like, and with the Heat, like with the way they're playing right now. Um, but looking at this deal, like especially because they get campaign as well, I
Oh
think
yeah.
this takes less pressure off of. Um, I think they're doing this to take less pressure off of Maxi and get more consistent, reliable guard play. Um,
Hmm.
and I think they still have Tobias Harris too.
Yeah.
So like adding another guy that can get like 15 or 20 a night now with like Maxi, with it coming back and be you have plenty of offense and like a
Hmm.
diversity of offense where um, you can't key in on one guy. And Buddy Hield is like a great catch and shoot guard that can get his own shot as well. Um, I love this move for the Sixers. Like for offensively, they're right up there with anybody right now. Like again, assuming a healthy Embiid,
Yeah.
because they making it difficult to stop Embiid,
Hmm.
like because with how they use him at the elbow and using him in motion, getting him ahead of steam. But now when you add Buddy Hield to the mix, you got all these different half court sets you can run. It
Hmm.
just opens up all the floor. And then now you can really use Maxi in like and the speed like in different sets. Like you
Yeah.
don't have him like stationary or like trying to organize pick and rolls because Buddy Hield can do all of that. Now you
Hmm.
can just have Maxi like have defenders chasing him around and really using his speed like to go from sideline to sideline. And it's gonna be hard to defend this team, man.
No, yeah, I think it's a huge addition, especially just because the level of shooter Buddy Hield is crazy. I was thinking he would be on the starting lineup, but I know like thinking about it, then you have Maxi, Oubre, Harris. Who do they usually have at the two? I mean, Maxi, Oubre, Harris, Embiid, and I guess Hield. I was thinking Hield, but on a podcast I listened to, like the Hoop Collective, they were saying he'd come off the bench, which, eh, I like him playing more minutes, but he doesn't have to start to play starters minutes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who their other.
I think right now it's the Anthony
Oh,
Melton.
yeah, or maybe that was not campaign. Pat Bev. No, Pat Bev comes off the bench, but
No,
whatever.
Pat Bev's on the Bucks now.
No, I know, but like before that, like I don't think
Gotcha.
Pat Bev started, right? So
Yeah, it's weird right now because Embiid's out, but their current depth chart lineup is like the starting lineup is Maxi Melton, Harris,
mhm.
Nicholas Batum, Paul Reed.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
um,
that's interesting.
maybe it's Oubre in some cases, maybe it's Melton, but like I'm in agreement with you. I would think Buddy Hield's a starter there,
Yeah.
but it might be a situation where like he's gonna get like 25 minutes a night regardless or
Hmm.
more, and then it's just like seeing like how do you want to sparse that out because they did add a lot of guards, a lot of guards. They just
Hmm.
got Kyle Lowry too,
Oh
so like
yeah, the
they've
hometown
completely
kid
revamped
Kyle
that
Lowry.
entire room. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they happy for him in that situation, but like I think they're still trying to figure themselves out, so I wouldn't really panic. It's
No,
just before the All Star break, so they have like about a month to figure out the right lineup and then roll with
jeez,
that.
jeez, that's so scary. The regular season ends in a month ish, month and a half, and then we only have
No,
what?
I'm just talking about this like timeline on like how you
Mhm.
want these all these new guys to gel.
No, yeah.
Like a month is probably the best estimate to see like, oh, okay, what effect does the trade line deadline have on like starting lineups, how many minutes each guy gets, like where they function best, like which player combinations work the best, like
No,
all
yeah.
of that's probably like what they're taking into account because
Okay.
maybe it might be a situation where like you want to play Maxi and then like Melton because you could get like offense defense combo there,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you have the savvy defense from Lowry, and then like
Mhm.
maybe you pair like Payne and Healed or like Lowry and Healed. I think they're still trying to work out those combinations. So maybe it's not a like we don't want to get Maxi and Healed together. Maybe they'll still play together, but
Yeah.
maybe it's for like a certain amount of minutes, and we're just like we're just trying to look for like guard defensive combos, like what works best because we don't want to do like Maxi and Healed and expect to have solid defense there.
Mhm.
Whereas like if we do have a known good defender as a guard, like I don't know what Nick Nurse is thinking right now. I'm curious to see
Yeah.
how he processes. No, like I don't mean this in like a derogatory way.
No, yeah.
I'm curious to see like what his thought process is. I'm like why he doesn't want to start Healed and Maxi together. So
Mhm. Yeah. No. Uh, I thought you meant like by the end of the regular season because that's when they had to kind of lock in. But that's in like
yeah,
2 months actually. It's usually like tax day, like April 15th or early tens of April. So we'll see. Uh, that I was just saying that's scary because the season feels like it's flown by. There's been a lot of stuff going on, especially
yeah.
with being on the podcast every week. Feels like it's going pretty quick, but it's been good. So yeah, we'll see what these Sixers do. I'm definitely interested. They look pretty powerful. And then yeah, I think it's all I got.
I mean on the Pacers side,
They
I'm a
got
little
Furkan
bit curious.
Korkmaz.
Yeah, I mean that's good for them, but like I would have held on to Heal. And I
Hmm.
mean they do get McDermott, so I wonder what their
Yeah,
thought process is there. But I
that.
think they had some good things going with Halliburton and Hield and like
Siakam.
Turner, like and Siakam. Like I'm just why trade Hield? It
Yeah.
made no sense to me.
Did they get any picks on that trade? I feel like they didn't get many picks at all, and even then, I mean they're a young team, but
Mm,
I don't know.
They got Corey Joseph. They got
Mm.
Doug McDermott. They sent a second round pick to get Doug McDermott.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, this there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of
oh yeah, you know what? They did get three second round picks, so
okay,
that probably played a role too. And
yeah,
they got Marcus Morris Sr. So
that's a big thing this year. Second round picks are a bit hotter now because this year in the draft you don't really have a guy anywhere close to Wembanyama or even Brandon Miller or even Scoot. There's not a lot of like hype over this year's draft, but next year you have Cooper Flag. If you ever heard of him, I always see a bunch of like AAU videos of him, or I think he's gonna go to Duke next year. Yeah, he's gonna be at Duke next year. So
I did see the Duke news. I don't watch much college basketball to be
mhm.
honest until it's like March Madness
No,
time.
yeah,
I think that's the best assessment of players, to be honest, like how
yeah,
they fare during March Madness. Like, I was always like a Jalen Brunson fan, like
hmm,
watching him in Villanova, but
yeah,
I didn't like. I'll be honest, he didn't like. I just like the way he played possession by possession. He played in like a
mhm,
controlled manner, and the way he's playing with the Knicks doesn't surprise me.
yeah.
Like the way how he plays, but like I didn't think he was gonna be a star when
I
I
don't think
saw him.
anyone
I just
did.
thought like he's the type of point guard I want because like, he controls the game so well and he shows up in big moments.
Hmm.
But like those are the kind of players you'll see in like the March Madness and because we saw this in Villanova,
Yeah,
like from Jalen Brunson. So like I'll pay attention then to see like if there are players like that stand out, but not really throughout like November to like January or February like that, you know. So
no, yeah. I mostly just watch Illinois basketball because I went there, but not much
yeah.
else. Yeah.
Okay. So one last trade deadline move before we talk about the inexplicable call that happened last night. But the Knicks get Bojan Bogdanovic. Um, I also thought this was a solid move. I'm a little bit less like, oh my goodness, what happened? Like this is a tremendous move. Knicks are like top three. Like I don't feel that way with this move. It's like the Knicks are always like inching closer and closer and closer,
Yeah.
but like they're not like I can't get myself to say they're winning a championship this year because of this move. Like I think it helps complement their roster, but I still think the top level of their team doesn't compare to the other ones within the conference, let alone like the NBA.
I could see that. I definitely I think it's just big shock value for everyone seeing these trades. I mean, to me the Knicks have been so aggressive. I don't know if I've ever seen a team be this aggressive in such like small moves. I mean, you already did the OG Anunoby trade. Now you get Bojan and you trade away guys that you weren't even using like Evan Fournier. I mean, you're using Quentin Grimes but not as much. So I think they got more. Did they get other people from that trade as well?
No,
Bojan,
just Alec Burks. So they traded
Alec
Evan
Burks.
Fournier, Malachi Quinn, Quentin
Yeah.
Grimes, and then Brian Archie-Diacono, and then
Okay.
two second round picks.
Yeah.
And I got Boyan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. So they let go a lot of their guard depth
Hmm.
when making this move.
Yeah. But I mean, I watched Alec Burks play when I went to see the Pistons. I'm like, me and my friends are joking around that he's like a black hole. Like you just pass to him, you're not getting the ball back. You're not seeing the ball ever again. But I think on a winning team, he could do something. He's a reasonable shooter, guy who can kind of attack and create a little bit of his own offense. Same with Boyan, except Boyan on that team, on that Pistons team, seemed like easily the best player. So I think it's huge for them. Just more 3 point spacing. Defense, obviously, kind of suspect. He can probably only guard like threes and fours, maybe. But I think it's a good move. I agree with you that they're not like winning a championship or really getting up there in the pantheon, but they're definitely inching. They're doing something. But I also don't think it's gonna happen this year. I think it's gonna be maybe a
I
slower
I
burn.
I think they have to make a play in free agency or something like that to get one of
Maybe,
these
yeah.
stars. If they get like let's say they get a James Harden, like
That would be
then
neat.
I feel comfortable with that. Like I'm look at the way James Harden's playing now, like
Mhm,
the Clippers, and I think Tom Thibodeau is the type of coach that can get the best out of him to do that. Like I feel
yeah,
like you have to get the right situation, right culture around like a star player, and I think the Knicks have the right culture. They have the right culture. They built this team the right way.
mhm.
I just look at the top level players. It's different. It's not like Detroit, like the Detroit Lions. Like
Oh,
if you look at, they have star players. Like
yeah.
their Lions have something. Like for the Knicks, they have Jalen Brunson. They just need to have one more guy, and I don't think Randall's that guy. That's
No,
the
yeah.
issue. Like
I didn't see that.
if Boyan becomes that second star, then all bets are off. But
Yeah.
like it's that's a tough for me to because like when I think of
Yeah.
star, I'm thinking of Kawhi Leonard. I'm thinking of Paul George. I'm thinking of
Mhm.
like Anthony Edwards. Like I'm thinking about like those level guys. Like I just see Brunson on that team. Like
Mhm.
as far as like take me there. And so um is that enough? I mean, the Heat made a strong case for that, but I'm looking at this season and I'm like, could I see the Heat take them down? I could possibly see that.
Yeah.
Like, can I see the Celtics take them down? Yeah. Can I see the Sixers take them down after their move for Buddy Hield?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
could see that.
yeah.
Bucks, yeah.
Mm.
Like, there's just 4 teams right there, and I'm just like, I don't think the Knicks like sold me on the idea that they're head and shoulders above them. They're gonna scrap, claw, and fight. So
Mhm.
I don't doubt they'll push it to 6 games or 7 games. But um, yeah, it's tough for me to see them go to like the conference finals or like the NBA finals right
Yeah. Only thing I'd say about Boyan is he's had a game or two of like explosive games where he scored a lot of points. But yeah, I agree. Him being a star is a bit of a stretch. Julius Randle is just tough to quantify. It really depends. It's on a game to game basis for him. He's really taken this. The Knicks really got better when he took more of a secondary role. Not doing as many like isolation post ups and whatnot where he usually turns it over, or just gives up a terrible shot. So yeah, I feel like Brunson being your best player is kind of difficult because he can kind of get doubled, and he's too short to like really get around that. That's why Luke is so good at being doubled. Is he's tall enough that the average point guard guarding him and another guy aren't going to disturb him as much as with Brunson. So yeah, I agree. I just don't know who you really get, and that's the only net problem for me is I'm not sure who you'd want to get out there in free agency or whatnot. But if they did it could be interesting.
I think well, what I think they're trying to gun for is if this team like blows up in their face,
Hmm.
they're trying to hope that pairing like Julius Randle and like Boyan to make a move from the start will
Hmm.
move the needle for this team. I think
Yeah.
that's where they're trying to go, or they're trying to add on to that. And
Hmm.
it's it's gonna take a buyout. I think it's gonna have to take a
Yeah.
buyout from like a star you don't normally see, and the Knicks would take a chance on that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think this is
they're
the
they're
best
they're
Knicks.
making strides. Like
Mhm.
I'm trying to be complimentary of them and say they're making strides, but
Yeah.
when I see the amount of success they have like lately in the season, my mindset's like capitalize on that.
Mhm.
Capitalize that as much as you can because you don't know what next year is going to be like. Don't bank on saying, "Oh, this year we're building. This year we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're getting close." You have no idea. It could burn
Yeah.
right in your face. So,
It could. Yeah. I think this if any Knicks team is the team to get a free agent, this is the team now. I mean, especially with Jalen Brunson, a guy that's really good. Julius Randle, good. And overall, I mean, playing with OG and Anunoby, the way they've just really made all these moves shows to any like possible free agent that yeah, this is a team that's willing to do anything it takes to win and to make that team better. So I have like it's usually like a story point or a storyline throughout the offseason. Oh, the Knicks are looking for this guy. And it's never really solidified, even with Melo on the team. So I think this is the team kind of missing that, having that spot for a better player, like you're saying.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So, going right with the Nets, with the Knicks. I'll admit, I didn't watch the game yesterday. I saw the end. Um, that was a terrible call by the ref. Um,
Yeah.
for context, Jalen Brunson's defending. I think it's Jalen Green
No, it
or
was Aaron Holiday, one of the holidays.
Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday. Yes, that's right. Um, he went up for like a last second heave
Yeah.
to try and keep the game competitive because like the Knicks were up at that point. Um, and he had to, Brunson played such good defense, like that he just like covered the entire left side of Aaron Holiday. Didn't foul him, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, that Aaron had to shoot it one handed with his right hand.
Mhm.
and he missed it, but the foul call like gave him a chance to be a win, and the Rockets won on free throws at the end. Um, I just thought that was a terrible call. Like I heard the game was physical all season. I heard Kendrick Perkins going off on this, and
No,
I was
yeah.
like,
Perk.
like yeah, he was like, he's like it was one of the worst calls I saw in history, and like
God.
speaking in all sorts of hyperboles like he normally does, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I it was just I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that nothing's being done to like relegate the refs. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, you can't make a brutal call in that situation. Like, this is like LeBron 2.0, like going up on the Celtics, not getting the call, him being demonstrative about it. Like, it
That's
just
so
gave me those
funny.
vibes, and it's like,
Yeah.
and Thibodeau and Brunson want to say stuff about it. Just look at their actions. They're protesting the call now.
Yeah.
Um, and but Brunson's like, oh, they made a good call. Next question. Like they don't even want the NBA to take their money too. On top of that, it's like
Mhm.
you already robbed us of a game. Don't rob us of our money. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah. Um, well, what were your thoughts on it? I'm pretty sure they're the same as mine, but I'm
Yeah.
curious
Bad
on what you
call.
thought.
Bad call. I just don't understand how this doesn't get reviewed at all. I feel like it's a big thing nowadays where the
No,
refs.
no, no. They reviewed it, but they reviewed when the foul occurred. They didn't review the foul.
Oh,
They're like,
that's
oh,
stupid.
we know this foul like probably shouldn't have been
Yeah.
a foul because they backtracked on that like
Yeah.
after the game in the refs conference.
Yeah. In the
But
last two
like
minute report.
they were doing reviews. They just reviewed when the foul occurred.
That's
Like, and how much time
crazy.
should be left? Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially on like a heave like that, and the contact was kind of inconsequential. He'd already shot it. He's kind of coming out, and it wasn't like Aaron Holiday's body didn't like move. Like his arm just kind of got pulled back from Jalen Brunson, just like landing around him, not like under his feet or anything in a Kawhi Leonard, Zaza Pachulia type of fashion. But it's very like, yeah, it's really tough when the game is in those moments. It's really hard to make a call like that, and I don't know. I'm kind of really interested just because this is a good candidate for like an actual for their protest to actually come through. Because I don't see I like you said, and like I'm guessing everyone else is thinking don't doesn't everyone doesn't see this as a foul. So I'm interested to see. Usually what they would have done, and they've done this before, is where they have like an overtime game, or at the end of the season they add like an extra period to then decide who would have won that game if it had gone normally. Because I think it was tied actually. So if no free throws, Aaron Holiday like they would have just gone into overtime. And so I'm interested to see where that
Has
goes.
that happened before?
I think so in like 2006. It was one year that the Heat had Shaq. I just heard about it. But it would be interesting because I just want to see what the NBA does in this case because this is a really wacky kind of
I highly
situation.
doubt they'll do anything because then they'll be like, it's like the end of the season. Like players will risk getting hurt during this quarter for like a game that's gonna like. I think they're gonna look at it and say, okay, does this impact seeding at the end, and like make a decision there.
Perhaps.
Like I, yeah. Like, are the Rockets in playoff contention right now?
I think they're playing maybe. I don't think they're. I could check
Okay,
real quick.
yeah, that's valid. That's valid then. Like that's to like consider. I find it hard to because like I know
Nope,
I
they're
know
out
they've
of
been
the play.
I know the Sacramento Kings have filed a protest before this season
Mhm.
on like some bad calls. We
The
had talked
Mavs have
about
as
it.
well. That one
Yeah,
didn't go
like
through.
I just think the nature of how those like processes have worked keep me like pessimistic that anything will happen out of this, which
No,
is
yeah.
why I'm like pissed that it happened in the first place. Like because I'm like people can like complain all they want, but like nothing's gonna be done if like
Mhm.
the refs are gonna be held accountable to it, you know? So
No, yeah. That's understandable. I'm just curious how it's gonna go. I feel like it could end up being kind of fun, if that does happen. But yeah, definitely Knicks definitely robbed in that case, or at least robbed of overtime. They might have lost in overtime, but yeah,
you
it's a
know, like we gotta give them the opportunity to find out, like with good calls. So
yep.
yep. Just a quick game update. I think the Bucks are keeping this a little bit more competitive.
That's good.
It's 77-66 right now, but Giannis is driving towards the paint like a menace. Oh, we missed it. Okay.
Classic.
But it looks like it's gonna be a good game tight. Oh,
Hmm.
he turned it over. So I would keep your eyes peeled on that game. It looks like it's gonna be good late. Um, but
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow us at amon.a.mission on Instagram.
Hmm. Wait,
Um,
trying to think. I'm in a different. Yeah, this one. There we go.
There you go. As you can tell, Diego's in a different setting, so it took him a while
Yeah.
to get there, but he got it. You could also follow us on YouTube where our videos are dropped at Amon A Mission. Now that the Super Bowl's over, I got a lot of time on my
Yeah.
hands to get on the video upload. So I'll be uploading some video on our social media. I know we haven't done it in a while, but um, please leave us some comments, leave us some recommendations. What do you want to see in the next upcoming videos? Basketball season's officially here for me, so
Yep.
gonna be tuning on to that 24/7 and seeing what other updates I can find within the next week. But thank you
Yeah. We'll
guys for
see.
watching. Diego, you got anything to add to the audience real quick?
Nah, just have a good week. Have a good week. Enjoy the All Star game. Gonna be interesting. Good break for us to kind of reset.
Yeah, I heard Jalen Brown is gonna be trying to go for the dunk contest, so I'm really excited to see
Yeah.
that. That's like the first time I've seen a star player like in a while want to compete, so
I'm just
that's really
worried.
exciting.
I'm worried something's gonna happen or he's doing it for the like. There's a reason no star has done it in a while. Either it's gonna be great or it's gonna be terrible. Like why he's doing
Diego,
it.
do
So
you have to bring up the injury risk with Jalen Brown right now? Are you
I don't
serious?
know.
Like, I'm just trying to enjoy some good dunks, man, and you have to bring that up. That's
I just
crazy.
feel something. I'm feeling something right now. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, after that Dre Greenlaw injury that happened on
Oh,
the
that was
sideline against Super Bowl.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like
I know, dude. Like, I felt so, and they were like, I don't know. I think they were practicing on like the UNLV stadiums, and the turfs were not the greatest. Like, they were tested to be like significantly lower than like
mm,
NFL safe. So like I don't know if that played a role into like the the conditioning on like the field and or
yeah.
like what the field was made of. Like I didn't really do too much digging into that, but that's like the guy was just hyping himself up, getting ready to run onto the field and
And
just tear
seeing it pop was great. Like I saw it like live when they re-showed the replay, and I was like, "Oh, that's rough. Like that was so stupid. How does that happen to him?" It didn't look that serious. And then my friend showed me the replay in slow mo. You see, is just pop, and it's just
every time you see like it
crazy,
reverberates, you know the Achilles is torn.
crazy, man.
And like the problem like with him, like losing him was a big loss for that
Hmm.
team. Like
Yeah,
he means a lot to the 49ers. I think it had an impact on like how the Chiefs like schematically
no,
call that
definitely.
game. But like, yeah,
Yes.
how dare you wish that on Jalen Brown, Diego?
I don't wish it on Jalen Brown. I'm just saying I don't know why
We
he's
heard
doing
we
this.
heard you said I had a feeling was gonna happen like it's gonna happen. So like I'm just there's a reason why like players why you gotta tell the people, man.
I don't
They just want
know.
to see LeBron and all these guys like join the dunk contest for
But
once.
why is LeBron done it? Like, there's a reason. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Things are the way that like there's just we'll see. I mean, I'm not
Are you
wishing that
telling
to
me you
happen.
don't want to see Ja, Jalen Brown, or like Zach Levine go to the dunk con? That would be insane.
It would
Did
be
you not see
fun.
the Aaron Gordon Zach Levine dunk
I
contest,
watched
man?
that, yes. But like I just think the dunk contest is just a bit like not outdated, but it's just hard to make it exciting anymore. Like what else are we gonna do? Like at some point you're gonna reach all the dunks you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still have it every year, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's and I'm not saying we
I
should stop it, but I don't
think
know.
with the star players, we'll have some better
Maybe we'll
dunks.
see. We'll
Like
see.
I know like Stephen A has thrown out some ideas where like you have like competitive like dunkers throughout the nation coming. I think that'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool. But like
See, that would be fun. And then there's no risk to the players or whatever. Like Jordan, I think Jordan Kilganon, that's a guy that does a lot of crazy dunks. Stuff like that. I don't know. It's just like All-Star Weekend is kind of a mystery in that sense. Like it's been difficult like when they did the Elam ending in the 2020 All-Star game that made it more interesting. And now they're going back to East versus West. That's something I kind of wanted for a while, but I it's just really weird. It's hard. It's a very hard thing to kind of
aren't they
grasp.
still drafting players? Like how's that
I don't
working?
know. I have no idea.
I
Yeah, I
actually
can't
found that
complain.
pretty exciting when like Giannis and LeBron would do their draft picks and
Hmm.
whatnot. But
That was probably the best part of it for me. But I don't know. I also wish that we could go back to having like in Jordan and Kobe's era, like with the All Star. You didn't have an All Star jersey. It was just your jersey. The home team was wearing white, like the white jersey of their team, and then the other team was wearing the more colorful jersey of their team. I
that'd
thought
be
that was
pretty
cool.
cool.
But obviously the NBA wants those All Star monies, so I
Yeah.
can't blame them. But yeah,
No, I mean, okay, we rambled off on a
little
tangent,
All
but
Star weekend
guys, we
tangent.
love talking about basketball. If you can't tell,
We
so
some basketball
um, all I
sickos.
want to see is star players like showing out with all the dunks they can get because people look up to these star players and want to see them play. And all you got to know is Diego's hating on them because he's worried about them getting hurt. When they
I'm
are
yeah.
professional athletes, they can take care of their bodies well. They know how to dunk safely. He just
Let's hope
doesn't get
so.
it, you know.
I
So
don't because you're dunking all around here, Josh.
yeah, yeah, and I've been teaching all these athletes how to dunk, so at
That's
5'8", yeah,
conspiracy.
yeah, I've never dunked in my life, but anyway, guys, have a good rest of your week. Look forward to seeing you guys on here next week. Leave your comments, leave your likes, leave your feedback on here, and then try to make each and every episode better because of it. Well, take care.
See ya.